Shalom, shalom. Call on like Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles. We have no stone, shalom to Yakim in the faith, doing the work in truth and sincerity. I hope this lesson is edifying and straight to the point as I intended to be. I got this lesson from the Lord. Secondly, I'm inspired to do this lesson by listening to the elder apostle Tahar cut down someone that's a follower of IUIC that's trying to say that Isaiah 4:1 is not literal. So getting straight into the point is, does every Israelite woman right now, every elect woman of the Lord, does she have a man? Well, that's something I can't answer, and that's something that we hope to, and we know that the Lord will have eventually every elect woman with a man, because that's the order which the book of Paul and the Apostle Paul spoke of, which is everyone should know that, but we'll get it for edification's sake, so bear with me. Baba Kushah. So it reads in the book of, bear with me, 1 Corinthians, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, Yahushua, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach, Yahushua, is the Most High God. So you have Yahweh, you have Yahushua, who the world even calls Jesus Christ. So you have God, His only begotten Son. You have the man, you have the woman, and you have the children. That is called a nuclear family. That's called a powerhouse, especially when they're Israelites. The Lord is only dealing with Israelites first and foremost. But when you have Israelites coming in that order, they're in the right spirit, they're in the right doctrine, they're following the Lord. That's a impenetrable force. You're almost bulletproof, if you get where I'm coming from. But does every woman at this second that is of the elect have a man right now? Is every woman that is of the elect waking up right now? I can't answer that. And, like I said, every woman that is of the Lord will eventually have a man, because that is the order which the Lord intended it to be, So when shit hits the fan, yes, they will have a man. Because does a woman need a man? Yes. Does a man need a woman? For what reasons now? Is it to repopulate? Is it to make his life easier? Absolutely, a man needs a woman, if you're coming in that sense. But times we're coming into, a woman out there trying to fend for herself when we're coming in the time of war, she's not going to be Superwoman, man. She's not going to be, I am woman, hear me roar. All that is cartoon bullshit. That's not reality. Reality is the average male, the weakest male, could put belt to ass to the strongest woman, man. And when shit hits the fan, they're the weaker vessel who people will try to take advantage of. And in this day right now, where you have so-called normal life, where things aren't really shit in the fan situation scenarios yet, women are still getting taken advantage of, man. So how much more so when shit hits the fan? And deep down inside, every woman wants a man, unless you're whored out, unless your spirit's completely torn apart. Don't get it wrong. We're not here to just shame women, because you got a whole group of males who are definitely not in the right spirit, And another place where this lesson was inspired, outside of the Apostle Tahar and the Lord, is I had a close friend of mine. He went to church, and that's what the pastor was preaching about, that every man should have a woman. And if you don't have one, then something's wrong with you. And we understand where the pastor's coming from, being men of the Lord, having discernment. But mind you, my friend is what? No more than 23, he's 24. No more than 24, he's about 23, 24. And the pastor, he's about 50, pushing 60, between that range. When he was coming up, is whoredom a new thing? Is being a hoe a new thing? No, that's not nothing new, but we can say for sure that the women of that time frame and the women today are two complete different monsters, man. The women of today have too many options. They have the world at their fingertips. They got men that are just simping out, who are lacking testosterone, who are running out of their wits and out of their minds just to please a woman that has many options. So we're not dealing in the same, ball game, So for him to say that, I understand it, but I'm not very sure if he understands the whole sentiment of his statement. So that was the point there. Sirach chapter 26, verse 23. Chapter 26, verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. You know, so you don't want to just get a woman just for the hell of it, man. You know, you get a woman, now she's torn your whole life apart. You're trying to figure out, what did you do wrong? Whole time, you got this demon that you're sleeping next to day in, day out. That's draining your energy and calcifying your pineal gland and destroying your way of thinking. But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. So for you to get a dime piece, which they call, or not a dime piece, but for you to get they got this term called trophy wife. That's a trophy wife right there, man. A godly woman. And a trophy wife in today's world is defined as a young, beautiful woman that is together with an older, rich man, which poses as a sign of possession. So it shows how the rich man is empowered. She's a sign, she's a token to people of the world that, you know, this guy is that, you know, because, hey, let's keep it real. The ball players, you know, your richer men of today's society, they're not dating no ugly, decrepit women. You know, they may be divorced, but, you know, they side piece, whatever the case may be, they got the best, they get the cream of the crop because, you know, hey, on this side, you know, money buy you the hottest thing, but the hottest thing, you know, is the best thing, you know. Give it to him that feareth the Lord. So he who that feareth the Lord, he gets a godly woman. And when you have a godly woman in your life, that makes almost everything a lot easier because, you know, the Lord gave a woman to Adam to be a helpmeet, you know, to help you, you know, with your things that you can't get to as a man, because as a man, you know, you're set to provide, you're set to defend. And it makes life a lot easier when you have someone to tend to the children and teach the children and clean the house and feed you. You know, when you go to war and you coming back, you know, that makes life easier. Imagine, you know, you going to work every damn day. You got to come home. You got to clean. You got to cook. And you got a woman in the house. What the hell is she there for? That's a waste of space. It says in Proverbs 31, verse 10, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. In other words, you can't put a price tag on that. Let's get that word virtuous in the Blue Letter Bible. The Blue Letter Bible says the word virtuous. Proverbs 31, 10. It goes back to the Hebrew word.
Strong's H2428. Chayil.
Chayil, strength, might, efficiency. Efficiency, I think that's the word right there we're looking for, efficiency. So you got an efficient woman that's making your life where you could produce, where you can maximize your production out of life, where you could be the best version of yourself. She's literally pushing you to be best version while you pushing her to be the best version. And y'all just like, what's the word? Iron sharpening iron. You know, you guys aren't taking away from each other. You guys are just getting better as time goes on, which is a gift from the Lord ultimately. And it reads, for her price is far above rubies. In other words, you can't, that's priceless. A lot of these women out here, you could put a price on them, man. Based on the size of their ass, based on the, you know, we're not going to get vulgar here, you know, but based on their looks, man, based on their plumpness, based on all that. And that's how they rate themselves. They literally put a price on themselves, because today you don't have courtship. You don't have where arranged marriages where your father is, that's something that the pastor also mentioned to my boy is, you know, you got all these dating apps today. Women are arranging their own marriages, don't know what they're getting into. That's also a bad reason. That's also a reason why you got so much dysfunction, you know. But, you know, where you had the father approving and you had the other father approving and making sure you guys coming from two good stocks, you know, that was a healthy oversee. But now you got two young, dumb kids that are just getting into each other. One takes advantage of the other, and the rest is history. Now you got gunshots and this, that, and the third. So that's that, man. And then I want to end off with this, which is what the dude from IUIC, which was getting cut or following IUIC. I don't know what the case is, getting cut by the Apostle Tahar. He reads that Isaiah 4:1 is not literal, but he's a weak man. He's a man that's Babylonianized. He's a man that can't handle more than one woman. He's a man that can't handle no women, more than likely, you know. He's a man that's not ready. He's clearly just bugged out, and you have Israelites like that. calling a spade. And in that day, 7 women. And that 7 is not literal. 7 is a number of completion. That's how long the Lord take to complete the earth. So the word 7, oftentimes when you read in the Bible, the number 7, it's spiritual. Shall take hold of one man. Because you don't see nowhere in the Bible where there's families where there's 2 men and 1 wife. That's not balance. And no, you're not going to be having freak-offs where you're having these orgies. That's not what it means either, man. It just means you're a nuclear family. Yes, the Lord created man strong enough, able enough to possess more than 1 wife. King Solomon, one of the greatest king, of course, woman led him to going off, to other gods and whatnot. But at the end of the day, at the height of his reign, he was doing well. He was righteous, and he had multiple women. And you have other men of the Lord who have multiple women, who had plethora of kids. How do you think the Israelites were about? You think Jacob had his brother help him make kids? Or you think all those kids came from the seed of Jacob? Why do you think they're called the 12 seeds of Israel? Israel is Jacob's name. Jacob had a plethora of wives. He even had wives to help his wives, what you call concubines. And yes, you could. Those can bear your children. You just can't marry them if they're heathen, of course. And Israelites will always be your wife, so you can never have a Israelite concubine per se, but Lord, when this point was made, but you women out here who need a man, and you feel like you need a man, you need to pray to the Lord that the Lord gives you a righteous, godly man. And yes, you do need a man, because that's how the Lord deals. The Lord doesn't deal from him straight to you. You just read it from the Apostle Paul. It says your daughter shall dream visions, your son shall prophesy, things of that sort. Yeah, we understand that. But when it comes to a nuclear, foundation, family, you want a man of the Lord. Not any man, but a man of the Lord, because it speaks about how a man shall be a hiding place, from the destructions that are coming. Why? Because the Lord is going to instill different things in his men when these time come, where they're going to be able to provide protection and discernment for the rest of their family members. But with that being said, on to the next one. Shalom.